we have some good news, and there are qualifications now available which are centred around getting students to think in this sort of way. And one of these is called the Extended Project, which Miss Potter's going to talk to you about.
Okay, good evening everybody. I'm Miss Potter. I actually teach religious studies, but I'm also responsible and involved with something called the Extended Project, which we currently offer to students in year 12 and 13. But we're also looking to introduce it with lower students at GCSE level. So I'll tell you a little bit about what the project is. It's usually taken in the form of a dissertation. So a 5,000 to 6,000 word dissertation, which really does challenge students, and the focus is very much on independence, because the students are responsible for choosing their own topic area that they'd like to research, and setting a research question for themselves, which they are responsible for researching a wide range of resources to answer that research question. And students will be given a supervisor, a member of staff at this school, who they are also responsible for arranging their meetings with on a regular basis. So unlike some of their curriculum subjects, whereby the curriculum is very focused and defined, the Extended Project offers a much larger range for where students can take their own learning and manage the learning. The qualification is graded A star to E in the same way that their A-level subjects would be, and it also contributes towards UCAS points, which help them to get into university. But as Mr Llewellyn was saying with Latin, the real benefit of this qualification is the process and the skills that students can develop when embarking on this project. So I've put on the board for you some of the skills which the students can develop through the Extended Project. It really does require students to learn to be critical thinkers and critical readers. It also requires them to solve problems, because their research question will always be in the form of an open question which could be answered from multiple different perspectives. And part of the qualification requires students to weigh up the strengths and weaknesses of these different responses which could be provided to the research question that they have set for themselves. As mentioned previously, it also requires them to be independent learners and good time managers, highly motivated. The supervisors will not be on their backs chasing them up. They've really got to find it within themselves to be highly motivated and to fulfil what is required of them in this project. So I'm sure we can all see how this would really help them in the world of work and also in daily life. So, as the title suggests, it's intended to extend students, and it can extend them in the ways which I've put through this diagram on the board here. So it's about gaining a deeper understanding in the topic that they have chosen to research. It's all about broadening those skills, the critical thinking, independent learning, problem-solving skills, but also helping students to broaden their perspectives, to see things from different viewpoints, and to critically analyse and assess the validity of those viewpoints which they have researched. So, the students at this school really do come up with a wide variety of topics which they choose to research. And I've put on the board for you an example of some of our past research questions which have been answered to a very high standard actually. So I'll just give you a moment to look over those. Going back to one of Mr. King's earlier slides, he was talking about, success is about being able to solve real-life problems, and we can see from the questions which our students have devised here, they are really current, topical issues which I think embarking on the Extended Project and developing a deeper understanding of these issues really equips them for going out into the world of work and daily life. So, in addition to the independent research which students do, they're also given some guided group sessions at the school. And I've listed for you here some examples of the sort of activities which students can do. So firstly, they're put together in pairs where they can choose an argument, a debate topic, and they have to play devil's advocate and argue out this topic from different perspectives. In addition to that, we give students the challenge of being able to defend the indefensible. So today with some Year 8 students, we were looking at the statements, bare knuckle fighting must be compulsory for students in Year 8. And students had to prepare a 1-minute argument which they could give for the rest of the class for why we should make it compulsory that they train in this bare knuckle fighting. And we had many students who wanted to take the challenge and actually found it quite difficult to sustain the argument for 1 minute. But it was good fun along the way, and I think it really taught them some valuable skills. In addition to that, we do tasks like the agony ants, so where students either look at a real life scenario or make up a scenario for themselves, which could be given to a magazine or newspaper, and they have to offer multiple different responses to these real life situations. So the way the extended project is assessed is based on these 4 assessment objectives. The time management, the management of the research question is absolutely crucial to the success of the project, and it really does equip students with the skills that are transferable in all their other subjects, but also in daily life. I want to talk a little bit about assessment objective 4, which is the evaluation and review. As I've already mentioned, the real benefits from this qualification come through the process. And students along the way are always encouraged to reflect upon the learning that they're making and the success of that. So rather than shying away from any failures they might have along the way, they're actually encouraged to go in depth and have a look at why did they fail here. Or if they encounter a problem along the way, rather than then looking elsewhere, going into that problem, seeing, well, how can I overcome this challenge? Linking back to the fixed and growth mindsets, it's about encouraging students to see challenges as a real opportunity for their growth, rather than thinking they need to run away from it and be defeated by it. So along the way, students keep an activity log where they're marking all the skills that they're developing, but at the end, they also give an oral presentation to their peers and a member of staff, whereby they reflect on the whole learning journey, see what went well, see what they've learned from it, and also what they would do differently next time. And undoubtedly, this really does help to prepare students for university, and the universities do rate it highly because of the independence that it provides our students with. So I'll give you a moment to have a look and see what the universities are saying about it. In addition to the extended project, I want to talk a little bit about something else which is available for students right from Year 7 up until A-level. And this is something called Mindfulness meditation. I've offered it as a lunchtime activities in the past for students in all age groups, but this year we've been working quite closely with Year 7 students in form time in this last term at school. And mindfulness meditation is about learning to become present in this moment, here and now. rather than allowing our thoughts to be with things that have happened in the past or focusing heavily on what's happening in the future. And perhaps you can relate with some of the disadvantages that can come with obsessing, focusing on the past or worrying about the future. It leads to very often less effective results in this present moment. It can lead to depression, anxiety, pressure, inability to sleep. And all of these things do not help with success on a daily basis. So what we do with the mindfulness meditation is it's very much really about focusing on the breath. So observing the breath and the pattern of the breath as the first step to becoming present in this moment. We also do body scans so students can be aware of the different sensations which are happening in their body. Because very often when we feel anxious and tense, it can result to us holding the breath, our body posture changing, and it's a vicious cycle really. It's something that's very, very hard to get out of. And undoubtedly students are under a lot of pressure at this school and in all areas of their life. So the mindfulness meditation is enabling them to develop this skill, to let go of the worries of the future, of things that might have happened in the past, to become present in this moment so that they can be more effective at what they're doing. And thinking about, the problem solving which they might need to come across in life or in exam situations, these skills through mindfulness meditation can really, really help them. So at present I've been doing it with Year 7 students in form times. It's also offered as a lunchtime. And if anyone has any questions they'd like to know about the mindfulness meditation, my email address is on the sheets that you have there, so you can contact me, or I'll stay behind at the end for any further questions. Thank you.